Welcome to California Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. Over this half hour, we are going to be speaking with many individuals that are focused on literacy. So often we forget how important it is to be able to read, and we just assume that most amongst us can read, but the reality is that illiteracy is still an issue in Southern California, and throughout the nation. And I am so glad to be able to introduce you to some leaders in this area. We start with Doug Freeman. He is the board chairman of the Literacy Project Foundation. He is joined by the founder of this organization. Her name is Sue Tucker. She is the president and CEO. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I am so in awe of what you have done and what you are doing to help not only children but adults. And so I want to start with you, Doug, and I want to get a sense from you about what we're facing when we look at the illiteracy crisis.
Brad, thank you so much for inviting us. This country is facing a tremendous challenge. It's estimated that over 44 million Americans, adults, cannot read a book to their child.
That's way more than 10% of our population.
Staggering.
It's stunning to think that in the 21st century, there are still individuals that can't do what you described.
Half of the population can't read a book at 8th grade level. And when you take those statistics down to the school levels and take it to California, the effects are monumental on us. It's estimated that more than half, about 57% of our children have failed the California standards test in English. That's more than half of our children who are affected by this. The dropout rate in California, recently published through a study done by the California Department of Education in June of last year, 25% of our children aren't graduating. And of those, at least 15% are dropping out at various levels. If you were to look at the middle school dropout rate, it's just as great.
And as I understand it, dropouts are increasing.
Well, it's interesting. They're increasing in some demographics and decreasing in others. The Hispanic dropout rate is higher as a cohort, so about 18% of those children drop out. And if you look at English as a second language, closer to 25%. And when you put the economic layer on top of all that, well, I can just tell you, in our county, in Orange County, we did a study, and in those Title I impacted schools, those are the schools that have free lunches and reduced cost lunches, you'll have about 70% or more of the students are English as a second language student. So you've got the economics and the language barrier, more than 50% dropout rate.
But are these students able to read in their native language, or is it there's just so much going on, there's such background noise that it really doesn't matter what language you're dealing with, their reading is not where it should be?
It's a terrific question. The statistics are pretty vague on it, but many of them have parents that are illiterate in their own natural language. Some of these schools have 25 to 30 languages in the schools.
So how is this affecting the school system?
Well,
systems.
The schools are suffering enormously because the amount of time it takes to help those children read takes tremendous personal attention. Teachers don't have the time for it.
Now, as you may know, and as a side note, Governor Brown is proposing a formula whereby funding would change so that school districts that serve students that may be English language learners, those on free and reduced lunch, foster kids, will get a bump. And presumably, if this passes, that should help. But that being said, we still are in a crisis. And fortunately, you launched on your own the Literacy Project Foundation in 2009. What brought you to this, Sue Tucker?
You know, I mean, I really do believe it takes a village. And having people like Doug Freeman and others that saw this vision, this is an effort where we just brought a crisis to the table, and a lot of people jumped on board to help.
And if you think about your home county, Orange County as an example, we think about beautiful beaches, beautiful people, everything is happy, it's the OC as we saw on television a few years back. But Orange County, like many counties in our state, it is impacted dramatically by demographic shifts and by economic downturns. And so you're busy.
We're busy. We're busy. In fact, one of our studies that, one of our concentration areas, believe it or not, like what you're saying, was the city of Anaheim that we serviced for the last 2 years. And we basically took 39 elementary schools and went deep into finding the most struggling, at-risk, struggling readers and serviced the city for the last 2 years. So
Anaheim, the home of Disneyland.
So you think of Disneyland, you think of the Angels, you think of the Ducks, but really right down the street in their backyards are these kids that pretty much are on the road to being functionally illiterate.
So how do you do this, Sue? What are you doing?
We're very fortunate to have a reading program that was co-developed by the Regents of the University of California.
It's called Get Set Read.
Get Set Read in the new phonics game. And what we do is we take this reading tool, we hire specialized teachers that become reading specialists for us. Master teachers.
That's what they're called.
That's right. And with the product and the teachers, we go into these Title I impoverished areas where most of the at-risk kids are. So we go in and we present a 30-hour reading program. We're very...
What ages?
You know, the game is able to... it's really suitable for K through 6, but we have found now that we concentrate on 2nd and 3rd. So that's really the focal point that we know by 4th grade, most kids need to be functionally literate and have the basics of the English language. So we try to capture that 2nd and 3rd grader that's starting to fall behind.
As I understand it, you also look towards literacy in Spanish in some ways. Is that right?
Well, in our mission statement, we definitely go after the English learner and the Title I schools. So there is a big population of, you know, the Hispanic community. But like Doug is saying, with all the different languages in the schools right now, I mean, we are looking, even our documents being translated into multi-languages.
So exactly how do you do it? Tell us a little bit more about Get Set Read.
So we basically identify the schools, and we go in, we talk to the principal, we hire our teacher, we have a student profile, so we identify specifically that child that we need to help. We have 3 one-hour sessions in the school. We are proud to say we're in the daytime classroom now.
So not after school.
We're not after school.
Okay, so there's a
we started after school. So really, what's happening to us today, and one of our master teachers is here to talk about this.
And we're going to speak with him, Neil Carter, coming
Neil
up.
Carter will tell you about, you know, we have become that intervention program for the schools.
And so valuable, even though Prop 30 may have passed in November, we still have tremendous need for these types of intervention programs, and I presume you're not charging the school districts.
We are no cost. So we go in, we identify our kids, we actually are part of a pull-out intervention program. What's so special about what we do is this is a socially interactive table of 6 kids that sit around, they enjoy learning, it's collaborative learning at its best.
I have to ask Doug, you are someone who's been involved in philanthropy in organizations for years. Sue told me you launched National Philanthropy Day in the dark ages. So what is it about this organization that compelled you to get involved?
It changed children. You can be on a national level and focus on the macro issues, but when you're sitting in front of a child who can't read and you see the lights going out, that joy of learning dissipated. Well, I just needed to get involved. When you meet Sue, you realize you're trapped.
I get it. Okay, when we come back, we're going to be speaking with 2 individuals, Neil Carter, who we mentioned, Kimberly Vig, who is a program coordinator. I'm Brad Pomerance. We'll be right back. More with the Literacy Project Foundation.
In 2013, which American city was ranked as the most literate in the nation? Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, or Washington, D.C.? Washington, D.C. was ranked the most literate city in the United States.
Welcome back. I'm Brad Pomerance on California Edition. We are now joined by two individuals working with the Literacy Project Foundation. Kimberly Vig is the program coordinator. Neil Carter is a teacher. And so these individuals are in the trenches, in the schools, helping these the youth become literate, because we know that illiteracy is just a recipe for a very difficult life. I want to start with you, Kimberly, and talk about how do you identify the need for your program?
Well, Sue Tucker and myself, Sue Tucker, the president.
She was just on.
Yes. We go into the schools. We meet with the superintendents. We actually have a student profile that identifies the type of students we have, as well as the demographics. And I'm sure, as you know, there's plenty of schools out there who have kids that are performing below proficiency.
Which is so disappointing. I mean, I hate to say it, but you're busy.
Yeah.
You're really busy. What is that profile? What do you look for in a student that would benefit from your program?
We are looking for struggling readers, students who can't pronounce certain letters, students who get their letters confused, the P's and the Q's and the B's and the D's.
So these aren't necessarily learning disabled.
No,
right.
No, not at all. I mean, these are problems that can be fixed easily, especially with our program.
Right. They just need the intervention.
Exactly.
So how do you decide this is a school district that would benefit from the Literacy Project Foundation?
We go into different, like I said before,
Right.
we go into the different schools. We usually look for Title I schools. These are students, again, that are the struggling readers, students that are performing below
Right.
proficiency. We meet with the principals.
You do?
Yes, these principals.
Now, I know you're looking to grow the program.
Yes.
Currently, you're targeting Orange County.
Yes.
But you're looking to go elsewhere.
Oh, yes.
How can that happen?
Well,
Viewers, are you listening?
Yeah.
Corporations, are you listening?
We've met with so many people, and we have a list of schools that we're actually waiting to be taught at. The only problem is we don't have the funds. We offer the program to the schools at no cost.
Right, which is so pivotal in these tough fiscal times.
Yes, exactly. So really, it's just a matter of funding that we're
Literacy
waiting
Project
for.
Foundation, literacyprojectfoundation.org.
Yes, literacyprojectfoundation.org.
Okay, well, sign on to that if you want to help this foundation grow. But I want to talk to Neil Carter, if I may.
Please.
You are a teacher.
Yes, I am.
You are in the trenches. You are working with these students.
I'm working with these students.
Yeah,
yes.
give us a sense. You're a master teacher, as we discussed.
Correct.
Give us a sense of what it's like the moment you walk in and start this program.
You know what? It's been a joy the whole time. Once again, you're taking kids that probably need just a little more practice to bring them up to a level. And in a classroom situation, okay, with, most of our classrooms now are 30.
Right.
Okay? And you've got one teacher, aides have pretty much been cut out.
Right.
Okay? So if you've got a kid who just has a little need as opposed to somebody with a big need, you're going to focus on the big need. So some of these kids are falling through the cracks.
Tell me more, though, about these kids, because as Sue was describing, if you get them second, third grade, you're in good shape. I mean,
Absolutely.
You can probably push them along.
The idea is second, third grade, you're still learning those literacy skills. Okay. Once you get past about fourth, fifth grade, okay, now all the content's going to be literate. Okay, all your history books, all your science books, all your math books are all going to be based on whether you can read or not. Well, if you can't decode,
right,
okay, you're going to struggle with reading, right, just the decoding piece, and you're probably not going to be fluent, and if your fluency is down,
right,
then your comprehension's not going to be...
And the hole just gets bigger and bigger.
Correct.
You're trying to dig yourself out,
Correct.
and yet the sand continues to fall on you.
Correct.
So Sue had mentioned, though, that you are a K-6 program.
Correct.
And so with second and third grade, like you said, you can intervene and have quick
ideal.
results.
Right.
What do you do, and I hope that you're able to serve kids that are in fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, because it's not over.
No, it's not over. Once again, though, the interventions in the classroom, now you've got self-esteem issues.
Right.
My peers are saying I can't. So with our program, if you come in, you're going to work in a social group with people that are in your similar age band. Okay, so you don't have necessarily the same stigma, and you're working on skills that maybe you haven't picked up prior to now, and you're going to get increased practice. But it's in a social game setting, okay, so it's not like a drill and kill in the classroom. It's actually a game format, so you're having fun.
If a second grader is at the same level as a specific fourth grader. They would be in separate groups?
They could. Ideally, I'd put them in separate groups, but if I didn't, you know what? I'd have the older student help the younger student.
So I want you to really dig deep and give us a sense of what you are seeing in these kids. When you're looking into their eyes, maybe on day one, and then looking into their eyes at the end of the program, I have to think that you can describe what you see.
I mean, it's like building a fire. I mean, you've got this little spark at the beginning where kids come in saying, well, I can't read, or I don't like to read, okay? And so we start with just the basics, okay? And as they practice and their confidence builds, all of a sudden that spark starts to become a flame, okay? And the idea is by the end, as they're building their competencies, they're going to develop that love of reading, or now I've got the skills to decode. Now I can actually read, okay? And so at that point, now we get to the end, and it's just a matter of feeding that.
So
further.
Why do you think this program seems to be enjoying the success rates that it is? Because I know that there was actually a study done by the Orange County Department of Education, and the statistics are quite promising.
See, and I can give you my opinion. Okay?
Please go.
So what I'm looking
Why not?
at is, it's fun. Okay, you're going into a setting and you're playing games, and I mean, just human nature. If you're taking a skill and teaching somebody a skill in a game format, okay, they're going to have fun. They're going to compete. Okay, and in our setting, it's competition, but you're also nurturing the other people in the environment. As I always say, we're going to create our own little world, and everyone's going to be nice to one another, and you're going to get a chance. But it's a game. It's fun.
Kimberly, what's your sense? Since you're the program coordinator, why do you think, I mean, Neil said it well, but why do you think this program is seeing the success it's seeing?
You know, as program coordinator, I'm actually able to go into the schools and do site visits. And I think it's just a collaboration of the kids being able to play together. I think nowadays, you know, a lot of kids are on their computers and, you know, cell phones, and there's not that collaborativeness anymore. And so these kids are helping each other out, and they're having fun, and they're learning, and they don't even know they're learning. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
At the same time, so often kids will fall behind as a result of familial situations. Correct. And so is this program successful in spite of difficult family dynamics, or do you need the parent involvement? I mean, I guess we always need parental involvement, but be that as it may, sometimes we don't have that advantage.
Yeah, and over the time I've had the kids, you know, really the parents, other than picking them up at the end, there's not a lot of interaction between myself and parents.
So that's in some ways reassuring, because so often, I mean, as Sue was saying, the parents may be illiterate.
It's possible.
And so that becomes an additional challenge. I'm going to push you, Neil, to give me one story.
Absolutely.
One story on one kid that just blew your mind.
I had a student that was early on, okay, I had a student named Edgar, okay, who came in and was almost nonverbal.
Really?
He wouldn't speak.
What grade?
Okay. He was a second grader at the time. Okay. And he...
Was he an English language learner?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And he, you know, I think it was single parent family, couple things. But he, you know, it took a while just to get him to speak, right? But by the end, he was speaking
reading
a lot.
Away.
And he came back and said this was the reason that, you know, he didn't think he could read at the beginning. He knew he could read at the end.
Where's Edgar now? Do you know?
I don't.
Do you know what grade would he be in?
He would be a 5th or a 6th grader now.
What did that mean to you?
Oh, it was phenomenal. I mean, to take someone that was that shy at the beginning and have them blossom that much in a 10-week period.
We're going to meet a student next.
Yes.
We're going to meet a young boy. His name is Kevin. He's going to be joined by a teacher, Kerry Mills, and we're going to see what really happens. I'm Brad Pomerance. We'll be right back on California Edition.
How many people in the world are illiterate? 527 million, 774 million, 1.3 billion, or 2.1 billion? According to the United States Department of Education, 774 million people around the globe cannot read.
Welcome back to California Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are speaking about the Literacy Project Foundation, and we are joined by Kevin Vilchis. He is a second grader. He has also brought on set one of his teachers, Kerry Mills. You remember Neil Carter. He's here just to play the game. Kevin, I want to start with you before we play the game.
Okay.
Tell me about the program. What did you love about it? You've already graduated.
It was really fun.
Why?
Because when you start playing this game, it gets easier when you read the cards and you understand it or all of that.
I couldn't have said it better. I could not have said it better. Kerry, expand.
When they come in, on their pre-test, a lot of the words are challenging for them. They don't know a lot of them. At the post-test, they can read words quickly, fluently. They have no trouble decoding, and they're confident when they read too.
Now, Kevin, when you first got to school, what language did you speak?
Spanish. I couldn't talk that much English.
And that is a mere 3 years ago, less than 3 years ago, and he's clearly fluent in the English language based upon his grade level. I assume that Kevin is not dissimilar to some of the students you see.
Very similar. I've had a lot of English language learners in all of my groups throughout the program, and they've all improved so much in the short 6 weeks.
What about their Spanish skills, though? I mean, do they come with some Spanish reading skills? Because we do use the same alphabet at a certain level.
They do have some phonics space, but a lot of the vowel sounds are different. So that's what they have trouble with when they're reading. So through the new rules and patterns that they learn, they really find the new ways and new strategies to decode the English language.
Kevin, were you surprised at how quickly you were able to improve your reading?
Yes.
What did that make you feel? How did you feel when you were graduated?
Like really excited. Like I was going to get a little bit.
Did you want to jump up and down?
Yeah.
I can only imagine. Now, part of the program, Kevin, they talk about your dreams, and you have a dream. Mm-hmm. What's your dream when you grow up?
To be a firefighter.
I like that dream. I like it. We need people like you to protect us. And now, you know, with literacy, I mean, clearly he's on his way. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's just no question about it. And how lucky that he was able to get a program presented to him so early. Why don't you, before we play the game a bit, Kerry, give us a sense of your kind of light bulb moment when we had Neil do that, when you saw, wow, this student gets it.
It happens a lot at the end of the program when we're working on the last games, and you see everything just click in their head. They're reading these challenging words that use multiple patterns that we've learned, and they can decode them quickly.
So in front of us is the new phonics game. It was co-developed by the Literacy Project Foundation and the Regents of the University of California. So it got some serious pedigree behind it. Why don't you tell us a bit about the game?
This game is consonant blends and digraphs. So the students have to differentiate between the two and use the pattern to decode words.
So tell us what a consonant blend is and what a digraph is.
Kevin could actually explain this one.
Go, Kevin.
So, Kevin, what is a consonant blend?
It's when you get a consonant blend.
Uh-huh. What sounds? Do you hear both sounds in the word? Good. You see both letters and you know both sounds. They both make different sounds, but they blend together. How about a digraph? How many sounds does a digraph make?
One.
One sound. Two letters make one sound.
I did not know that. I did not know that. So give us an example.
So would you like to pull a card, Kevin?
Yeah.
What's that card?
Screech.
Good. And screech actually has a blend and a digraph. Could you read from the prompt and tell us?
The word is screech. The consonant blend sound is skr, spelled S-C-R. And the consonant digraph sound is ch, spelled S-H.
How is it spelled?
C-H.
Perfect.
I'm rendered speechless. I am literally rendered speechless. How did you do that?
It's a process, and we teach them each lesson, and they pick it up great, and
I mean,
they
I'm not
decode.
convinced an adult, a literate adult, could do what he just described with the speed with which he did it.
It was just easy.
But that's because you're so smart. That's because you're smart. It's easy because you get it, you know, and you have a confidence that you've been able to build. And I'm just, can we play more?
Yeah.
Sure. And what do you do after you pull the card, Kevin?
You roll the dice.
Roll the dice.
Got.
5 plus 3.
Oh, 5 plus 3 is 8.
Good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay. Now what?
Now, it's the
Now.
next person's turn. Right?
Can I play?
Sure.
I want to play. Okay. So my card, I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if you can see this, John Jean.
But you need one of these.
Okay,
You can do the white.
I'll be the white.
Okay, Kevin.
My card is bath.
Correct.
Bath.
Okay.
So I believe that, so the consonant, I just think I just have a digraph. Is that right?
Is that correct,
Yeah.
Kevin?
I
Good.
only have a digraph. So the consonant digraph sound is TH, or
Good.
spelled TH.
Perfect.
Okay. What did I get? 6 plus 3?
6 plus 3 is 9.
9. Okay. So I know that you had 8, so I'm going to go right in front of you. I want you to do another one.
Okay.
I'm going to hold up the card for you.
The word is
Right there.
while. The consonant digraph sound is what, spelled WH.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm completely blown away. I'm not convinced a 5th grader could do this. I want to keep going. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Can I keep playing? I want to get a really hard one. Okay, here. This is a harder one. So here's the card, John Jean. And you can see the word is splash. Splash. That's a hard word. That's a hard word. Okay, so let me see. So, spa. That's a blend, right?
Right here.
Is it a blend? See, I'm questioning myself. So the
Blend and
consonant,
digraph.
right? The consonant blend sound is spa. Oh, it's spla.
You got the 3, right?
You're right, because it's all spoken together. Spla is spelled S-P-L, and the consonant digraph is sh, spelled S-H. Kerry, why is it important for students? Oh, I'm on a roll. What is that? 6 plus 5.
6 plus 5 is
That's hard.
11.
Perfect. Move for me. Why is it important that they
1, 2,
understand
3,
the
4, 5,
distinction
6, 7,
between
8,
a blend
9,
and a digraph?
10, 11.
It's important because a lot of kids will want to say s for SH if they don't realize that's one sound. Since he knows it's one sound, he knows that that says sh. So he pronounces it
that's
correctly.
the decoding
Exactly.
element. Do another one.
Okay.
Wait, I'm going to find a hard one for you because I know you can do it.
Okay.
Because I know how smart you are. Let me find one. Oh, here, this is a hard one. This is a hard one. Okay, here it is, John Jean.
Okay.
This is hard.
The consonant blend sound. Wait.
What is
the
the word?
word? Is knicker.
See, to me, it's amazing that this young man knew that the K was silent. That is amazing in itself. That's just recognition. I'm not even sure what knicker means, but be that as it may, continue.
The consonant blend sound is k, spell K-N, and the consonant digraph sound is k, spell C-K.
Sue Tucker, you're amazing. All of you are amazing. The website is literacyprojectfoundation.org. They are in Southern California. They want to expand. If you want to help, go to that website. I'm Brad Pomerance. This is California Edition.